Hey, what's up guys, it's Unleash here today, and we are back with another video on Sonic Frontiers. So in today's video, we have a bunch of different articles and everything to go through and screenshots and everything from the TGS demo. So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's take a look at the news at hand. Onto Twitter, we Sonic Rush. So we'll start off with two brand new screenshots of Aris Island and Supersonic. So here's the first one right here. Sonic doing the stomp attack on this, you know the enemy that sends out those ball things they have to homing attack on to actually hit it? It's that enemy right here. And it's a pretty cool looking screenshot, I can't lie. And then the next screenshot right here is Supersonic at night time, and yeah, looks pretty cool. Looks very similar to the Forces animation for Supersonic when he actually transforms into it, but yeah, apart from that, we're done for screenshots. So let's move on to IGN Japan. It is also characteristic that the field movement of this work did not have a function that could be called fast travel in the range played this time. As mentioned above, if you create the gimmicks called mysteries, done about puzzles there, that are scattered in the field of this work, the mysteries will be connected by rails, but it can be said that this is practically a substitute for fast travel. Of course, you can get off the rail in the middle, so if you find something you care about while travelling on the rail, you can also take a detour. Fast travel tends to make it difficult to go to areas in between once it's opened, so it may be the best decision for Sonic, who is fast to begin with. You can move between islands from the map menu. Alright, this confirms that bird thing that we saw in the TGS trailer isn't how you move between islands, you actually do that in the menu, so I guess that's good, as it gives more possibility for the bird to be actually used in gameplay properly. Right, here we have a tweet from a user called Inazumag11, and it's basically summarizing a Kishimoto interview with IGN Japan. Kishimoto says, the hidden goal of this game is bringing Sonic Team back to the top of the gaming industry. They thoroughly did everything to make the game good. They held playtesting once every 3 or 4 months until this July, since 2017 or 2018. So that's some very good news right there. It shows that they actually did care about this game when actually making it. They regularly held playtesting to make sure the game was actually in a polished state and people actually liked the game, which is evident from the leaks obviously. And they're being very ambitious with this game, saying that they're going to bring Sonic Team back on top of the gaming industry once again. And you know what? I can very much respect that, so good on you Kishimoto and Izuka-san. Right now we have an interview about Supersonic from IGN. Some Sonic Frontiers bosses will seemingly be impossible to defeat before the player unlocks the ability to turn into Supersonic. Supersonic, a more powerful, yellow form of Sonic first introduced in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, was announced for Sonic Frontiers this week. It seems the form will be a key part of beating the game. Speaking to IGN Japan, Sonic Frontiers director Morio Kishimoto said players will encounter a handful of bosses in the open zone game that Blue Sonic can't even scratch before the power-up is unlocked. Normally in Sonic games, you'll encounter a boss and you'll fight them as regular Blue Sonic. In Sonic Frontiers, there will be bosses that Blue Sonic can't even scratch, Kishimoto said. But if he collects and uses all 7 Chaos Emeralds, he can become Supersonic and then battle those bosses. Becoming Supersonic will be the only way to fight them. This mechanic was shown off in the game's new trailer that debuted at Tokyo Game Show, where Sonic in his regular form tries and fails to take on a gigantic enemy. He then turns into Supersonic and returns, and Sega tells us that this mode features a completely different moveset for players to use. Kishimoto also suggested that a lot of these bosses will be of a much higher difficulty level to what players are used to. Up until now, in Sonic games, Supersonic would only appear against the last boss. Imagine if the first boss in Sonic Frontiers is as strong as those bosses, the director said. Alright then, so Supersonic is sounding very, very interesting. Right, so firstly, Kishimoto basically confirms that yes, there are multiple Supersonic bosses in this game. Secondly, he said that Supersonic will have his own moveset, not the same as regular Blue Sonic. So what does this mean then? Does it mean that I just have the boost and that's pretty much it? Or will he have the side loop and everything and the regular combat moves? I do hope it's the latter, because can you just imagine doing the side loop in mid-air? You know, just flying around these massive titans by doing the side loop with Supersonic. That'd be pretty sick, honestly. And honestly, I do think it could be like that, because remember, there is a possibility of a brand new form at the end of the game, so maybe that new form will have a different moveset, then the Supersonic will have the similar moveset to regular Sonic. Then the final thing is that these Supersonic bosses will be of the same difficulty as the final boss in a regular Sonic game, which is insane. Actually, just thinking about it right now, it's not really that insane because Supersonic bosses weren't really that hard, honestly. And that's because they can't be, right? Because that's the only time they actually use Supersonic. And they can't really just throw a brand new mechanic at you and just make it insanely hard, because that won't really be fair, because they haven't really used that mechanic throughout the game like a regular Sonic. Which does give Frontiers a bit of an advantage over previous Sonic games, because we use Supersonic multiple times, so the Supersonic bosses can actually get more in-depth and difficult as they progress, because they can actually give you time to actually learn the mechanics and everything, because there are multiple bosses. So yeah, the worst thing about Supersonic so far is honestly just his transformation animation. Apart from that, it's all looking and sounding absolutely brilliant. I'm very much looking forward to playing a Supersonic in Frontiers. Right then, now we have some of the specs for the console versions of Sonic Frontiers. With respect to, that thing, I asked the developer at the Sonic booth, but it seems that the target values for each model of Sonic Frontiers' resolution and frame rate are as follows: PS5, 4K and 30 FPS, or Full HD and 60 FPS. PS4, Full HD and 30 FPS, Switch 720p and 30 FPS. Both resolution and frame rate are always variable. Then he goes on to say, Xbox isn't asking, so don't ask. So essentially, he couldn't get any information on the Xbox version. But in a previous video already, he said that the Series X and S version runs at 4K 60, so I hope that is still true for those versions, because my god, I want to see Sonic Frontiers at 4K 60 on my Series S. Right then, so this is interesting. So the PS5 version won't have 4K and 60 FPS, but it's either one or the other, which is very weird. I mean, if the Series X and S can run 4K 60, then why not PS5? I mean, is Frontiers really that demanding? I mean, even for the PS4, we can't even get 1080 60 in the PS4 either, it's just 1080 30, and I mean, to be fair, Colors Ultimate on the PS4 definitely was not 60 FPS. I know it said it was supposed to be in there, but to me, comparing that to the Series S version, the PS4 version definitely did not feel like 60. And then for Switch, yeah, it's expected. 720-30, it's a Switch, like, come on. Right, moving on to the Sonic official Japanese Twitter account, Sonic Frontier information. Japan Game Awards Future Division, Sonic Frontier won? Yo, let's go. First award in the Future category for a series. Thanks to all the fans who always support us. Thank you very much. Okay then, so Sonic Frontiers won the Japanese most anticipated game for 2022, so that's amazing because Sega was saying that they did want to target the Japanese Sonic audience for Sonic Frontiers, and it seems that they very much succeeded for that, so that was great news. Frontiers is just one step closer to being Game of the Year. Let's get it. But now we have some tweets from the legendary Sonic Pox himself, where he asked some questions to MTB Cooler, the person who provided the big fishing gameplay, some questions about his experience with Sonic Frontiers. Question, big one, Cyberspace? So Sonic's regular running speed is pretty slow in open zone, unless you pull off that trick I did in session 2, where you boost right before a jump to emulate a spin dash jump. You feel like you're really quickly transitioning back to running speed. So basically, jumping at all ruins the most important thing of boost, which is flow. But wait, it gets worse. The air boost only lasts for like a second and locks your direction, and with these physics that feel closer to forces but with a way slower jump, it makes it really hard to both estimate how far it will take you and also ruins your flow. I think it's by far the worst aspect of Frontiers. The best change they did is keeping the stages 3D or 2D. Alright then, so Sonic's control in Cyberspace is seeming extremely bad. Basically a somewhat improved version of Forces, but not fully there yet. The jump seems to be the worst part of it all. It seems to be like the opposite of Forces basically, where it slows you down completely, when in Forces, you keep all your momentum in your jump and then yeah, it makes it very hard to platform. It's really weird how the controls in Cyberspace and Open Zone are different slightly. You'd think that they'd keep them the same because it's the same Sonic, same controls, why not keep it the same, but yeah, just another thing to put down for Cyberspace being mid. Combat. What was it like fighting bosses and smaller enemies? Ninja was amazing, though it can get really button mashy when you know how to fight them. The smaller enemies were boring. Tower is rather fun, as you need to avoid his ring mainly. I did notice that eventually, you can skip some sections by jumping to their face. It was however, really fun. I just hope enemy variety and upgrades can keep it from being as button mashy as in the beginning. Unless you want to grind, there's no reason to fight regular enemies. They're either pretty meh to fight or go down way too easily. You don't get too much XP, so I can imagine, unless they're put in a tight platforming section, most people will ignore them. Guardians is where it's at. Those are mostly fun, except Asura. Mainly the flying off and the hitbox of the lightning barriers. I got hit way high up in the air once. You can farm gears from Asura, though each side up around his legs give you a gear. Alright, so the combat in Sonic Frontiers is button mashy. What a surprise. Obviously, this is the beginning of the game. Well, some enemies are quite boring to fight and go down way too easily apparently, which honestly I don't really see a problem with that because they kind of like the egg pawns in the game. They're supposed to be like easy to take down because if they're layered everywhere and take ages to fight, their encounters are gonna get very, very annoying. But the Asura is definitely janky and apparently not that fun to fight. Right, the next tweet. Frontiers has the emotes. And yeah, we can see right here. Item code card that can be used on Nintendo Switch. Download content, Sonic Emote, Coco. Right, this is Japan exclusive by the way, so yeah, we're not getting that. But if Sonic has this one emote here, surely they're gonna add more, right? So if they do add some more, then maybe we could get that. I don't know. Right then, final bit of information for today. Big thanks for AZ_Max2, who shared those pics with me. Here's some pics that shows what is in the emerald structure, and I was right, the ceiling has a symbol from first teaser. Right, so you know that massive emerald thing that's flying in the sky in Kronos Island? They got some screenshots of it right here, and the first one, on top of the structure, is the Silver Chaos Emerald. Then inside is a couple of enemies, obviously. But then on the ceiling, you can see right here, that symbol, it's there. The one from the first teaser that Izuku said was significant for the game, so there, it's right there. Anyways, that about does it for today's video. So we got some new supersonic details, some console resolution and frame rates, the game winning an award in Japan, let's go, and then Cyberspace has some garbage controls. But what do you guys think of this news? Does it make you more excited or disappointed for Frontiers? Let me know down below. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed by hitting that join button down below. Remember, it's not necessary. And I will see you all next time. Peace!